Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Valley Happenings. I'm Susie Wiley, and thanks for tuning in. In Alabama, thank you for watching, and thank you for your emails, your Facebook friendship, and everybody. I'm going to tell you something. You know, all this technology sometimes goes over my head, but I'm going to tell you something that is so neat. So neat. With Facebook, I made contact with a girlfriend that I haven't seen for 43 years, and she will be in Decatur here very soon. And I mean, literally within hours, okay? And I am so excited, and that's something really neat about Facebook. And yesterday, I made another connection with a girlfriend I haven't seen for 20 years. So this is just so cool, and I'm so excited. So when you see us around town, say hi, introduce yourself, and I'll introduce you to my friend Pam. Alrighty, well, okay, there's lots of things going on at Decatur Utilities, okay, and up here in North Alabama, and especially in Decatur, all of you know this is where we broadcast from. Decatur Utilities is our electric company. And with us is Joe Holmes, and he is the communications, public relations, and I don't know the politically correct the titles now out there, but you're representing the Decatur Utilities and getting messages out. But there's something that's going to be coming in the mail, and tell them why. Tell them the whole story.
Well, Susie, we have implemented a new outage management system, and that's a big fancy term for the way that we identify where outages are occurring on the system. So when the electric service goes out, like the other night when we had a few customers out because of the storm, as calls begin to come in to our outage management system, that helps us identify where that problem's at. So we can send the crew out to the right place to fix it. We have implemented an enhanced OMS system, and it's going to allow outage management system, OMS. Saves a few words there when I'm...
Okay, but to all of us, we're going over OMS, GMD.
Outage management system.
Okay.
So this new system is just going to be enhanced where, as a customer, when you need to report that your power's out, you can dial the main number, which is 552-1400.
Okay, we'll put that on the screen.
You'll be able to press a 1, and then you'll be able to enter your phone number, and it will automatically go into the system. So within seconds, you're registered that you've got power out at your location. That goes into the system, dispatchers see it, and as those calls come in, then they can identify where to send the crews out to begin making repairs. Currently, they still use that type of system, but customers stay on hold, they talk to the dispatcher actually enters the information, so it's a lot longer before your outage gets reported. This is going to be a matter of seconds. We know about your outage. It's in the system. We can begin analyzing where it's at.
Okay, but don't you have a grid that tells you where pockets go out?
It does once those calls come in. So it's basing...
Wait a minute, so my neighborhood could go out, and Decatur Utilities would not have any clue that it went out?
We do have some other technology that tells us when large blocks of customers go out.
Right.
But from the standpoint of if we have 25 customers out in a couple of different areas, and those calls individually begin coming in, that technology that we have analyzes that and says, okay, because these customers are out, here's the breaker that has most likely...
Okay, so now you're getting really to pinpoint.
Right, we're pinpointing, and when we get, we don't have a lot of widespread outages, thank goodness, but when we do, this helps us see what parts of the system are affected, and we can basically know where to send those crews.
Oh, that's great.
It is great.
I mean, that's great. I have one question before. Now, is that the phone number up there that you want on?
That is 1400 is going to be the number. Yeah.
Okay.
552-1400.
Write that down in your telephone book, but you're going to be getting magnets and stickers and
we're
stuff
currently
here.
doing a mailing to all electric customers because this is the electric outage management system.
Okay, not gas, all electric.
Those will still
everybody
call
has
the
electric.
Same number, but they'll press a different.
Who doesn't have electricity?
Well, we have some customers that are just water, depending on where they're at in the system because of the territorial boundaries with Joe Wheeler. There are, we have some customers that are just water, some that are just gas.
Right, because when I think a lot of people that live in the Burning Tree area, there's a section there that's on Joe Wheeler.
That's correct.
Okay.
But we're doing a mailing to all the electric customers. They'll get that about a week to 10 days after their normal bill arrives.
Okay.
This flyer is going to have all the information about how to use the new system. It'll have the number to call, and it will have any information we have on that customer right now as far as their phone numbers that are in the system and their account number.
Okay.
And so what we're asking them to do is take a look at that. If that number has changed, go and update it. If it's correct, they can let us know. There's a little perforated tear-off card. You can say, yep, that's correct, or nope, here's my new number I'd like to have associated with it. Drop it in the mail. We'll get that updated so that beginning September 1st, when you start using that system, you enter that number, it'll automatically recognize you, report your outage.
Okay, now for everybody who has given up landlines and are only using their cell phones, and that's the number you want.
Does not matter. Whatever number you want associated, it can be
Okay.
a cell phone, it can be a landline and a cell phone, it can be two cell phones.
Because the address of your house or where you live is the key. How you make the report
Right.
doesn't matter.
It does not matter. It doesn't have to be physically tied to the account.
Right, but
It's-
that phone number is attached to that,
Right.
that address, and that address is out.
Now, if for some reason the system doesn't recognize your phone number, let's say you've changed numbers, you didn't update it, then you can use your account number. Now, people say, well, I don't know what my account number is. It's on your bill.
Yeah.
It's also going to be on this magnet that you can keep on your fridge, and then there's a little reference card you can cut out, put in your wallet, so you've always got that information with you. Power goes out, let's say you're out of town, and somebody says, hey, power's out, I need to report it. You can do it from wherever you're at by calling in.
Okay, because
It's all
It-
tied to that number.
the phone number is the most important. Am I
Phone
right?
number is the most important, correct.
To connect with your dwelling, the phone number and the dwelling. So if you have a landline and that's the number you want, when
That's
the power
fine.
goes out, you call the 1414, hit
1400.
1400, you hit 1, and
Put your number in, and it's going to automatically recognize. And it will
That's it.
confirm. It will confirm you that we've recognized that number. Your outage has been reported.
but our job and everybody that has a Decatur Utilities, it's now our job to, when you get the notice, to fill it out. It's going to take like about 12 seconds.
12 seconds. Now you can fill out the little perforated tear-off postcard. Fill that out. Drop it in the mail. You can go to www.duphoneupdate.com.
Okay.
Little web form there.
Fill
Takes
it out.
literally 5 seconds to do that.
Okay.
You can stop by the lobby. We've got a kiosk where you can do it manually. Now here's the key. Everybody who updates their number between now and the end of August, we're going to draw for 4 $50 gift cards. So we'll actually give you a little incentive to get
Oh, I
that
thought
done.
I was going to get free electricity for a year.
Well, you can use the gift card to pay for your electricity.
Free? I want it for a whole year.
No, can't do that.
See, isn't he wonderful?
That might cover you for a day, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, everybody, when they get their bill for July, are going to need oxygen because it's been so hot. Everybody,
It's been hot.
my little air conditioner, I don't think it's ever stopped.
It
It's
hasn't.
just
It's been brutal.
just going and going and going and going, and so is everybody's.
so remember that billing cycle. That's going to be about 6 weeks, 7 weeks after the period of time that it's so hot. That's when you'll get that bill. So,
It's never not hot here.
well, it'll cool off a little bit.
We got 3 more months of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then winter comes. We were someplace, and it has been extremely hot for
been
this
very hot.
this year. It's been
And it
very,
got hot
very
early. I mean, it got hot very early in
Yes.
the spring.
And we were talking and everything, and I said, I would just like it if it was about maybe 40 degrees less, like 60. Wouldn't that be
60 's
nice?
good.
60, blue skies, no wind, ooh, no humidity.
And I'll be
That's
back,
heaven.
and we'll be talking about ice and winter and heating. So, I mean, this is the cycle we live in here in the South.
Okay, so upgrading this, again, is really a twofold. It gets the crews out faster to fix outages, and it's for the convenience of the customer, okay? Because nobody wants to be without electricity.
Well, that's very true, and it's also when we get into a situation, we've got several thousand people out, which is not often. We're blessed to have a very stable system, but when we do have
Right.
those situations and everyone's calling in, there's only a certain number of calls that our dispatchers and customer
Right.
service people can take. This allows us to use all the phone lines we have available. Phone calls can keep coming in, and it's a quicker process, so those lines are opening up much faster.
Alrighty. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. Okay.
Okay.
I think we've got an interview scheduled, a satellite interview scheduled, and then Joe will be back, and we'll talk some more about what is going on at Decatur Utilities. Because we will. We'll be right back. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. We had scheduled an interview, and then we couldn't get the satellite, so they just sent the vital information to us. And the interview was brought to us by Tiva Neuroscience. All righty, and Joe Holmes is with us from Decatur Utilities. We're talking about the progress in, speeding up the it's like speeding up the repair of a power outage. Now, give me reasons why a power outage would happen.
Oh, it could be any number of things. It could be lightning strike during a storm. It could be winds that bring trees down into lines and take those down. In fact, driving home the other day, the storm was coming through and lightning struck a transformer just up the road, and it literally exploded.
Yeah, they do.
And so that would knock out power to a certain number of customers. It can be equipment failure. It could be situations like we had earlier last year when TVA lost its power feed to us, and we had an entire third of the city out. So there's a number of scenarios. We're very blessed here that we've got a very stable system. A lot of great work's been done over the years to keep it maintained.
And it has.
And it has. And so we don't see a lot of widespread situations. Now, when we get a rash of storms that come through,
you just never know.
that's typically a lot of scattered type outages. And
Because
that's where
they're exploding the transformer.
well, it could be, like I said, it could be lightning strikes, it could be
Okay,
wind.
but DU does a good job, and they're always out trimming
We
trees.
have a very aggressive tree trimming schedule every 8 years.
Because the more trees you can trim, the less possibility in a big windstorm that they're going to fall on the power line.
That's very correct. And DU several years ago went into an 8-year cycle. So every 8 years, we're making the complete round of the whole system. So what that means is, an eighth of the system every year is trimmed and maintained. And that does keep trees a reasonable distance from the lines.
Yeah, and that's very important, or big branches or whatever. Because I've had trees during terrible, terrible storms fall on my property and miss my house by just, like that much. And, it can happen in your own yard. You've got to keep your own trees trimmed, too. Okay, true or false? All right.
Okay.
We're going to play
You
true or
never know where
false.
Cece's going.
No, it's rumor, and I don't know if this is true or false. They say that when there's a terrible storm goes through and the whole city's out of electricity, you work on the hospitals first.
We do have, key accounts like the hospitals. Obviously, if we know they're out, we're going to try and get those back on. But
Is that like first?
it's in the first priority because obviously there's good
Emergency
reasons for that too.
Yeah, somebody could be having a heart attack. You need the hospital going
Right.
first.
But the methodology we follow, when we have a rash of outages and we've got,
Like a huge
storm has come through, you may be out because a tree fell on your line, and the rest of your neighborhood may be on, and you're looking at your window saying, "Oh, everybody else has got lights, but I'm out." Or we may have entire blocks of customers out because of a larger problem.
Right.
So we identify those larger problems first, substation level issues, because when that's fixed, that large block of 300 or 400 customers comes on. That's very frustrating for you as the individual customer
who's saying,
who
I'm
sees
at
the
the
lights
end of
come
the
on.
street and...
But if we come fix your problem and you've got larger problems up the line, you're still going to be out, and we've lost time getting the most people on. So in that mailer that we're sending out, we go through that process because we understand it's frustrating if you're that last person to come on and you see everybody else with lights and you're saying, why aren't they getting to me? But we have to follow a logical process or we could spend weeks getting everybody back on.
Right.
And it helps us get the largest number of customers back on first.
Okay, but the hospitals are very important. But they run on generators also, I'm sure.
They do. So we know that they've got backup power.
Huge, but they still need their power. And I'm not anti that. I could do without my power for a day. And with knowing the security that a hospital is up and running and can take anybody with any problems. And I mean, I hope you all feel the same way,
that
too.
same storm may have caused a lot of injuries and people trying to get them help. So we understand that.
And I mean, we went through all those tornadoes that went through here how many years ago? And, the city was wiped out for like a week to 10 days. Some people didn't get their electricity. But, it was a process of, what you did. And I was very fortunate that ours came on,
That was an interesting situation because we did not have a lot of damage on the system. This was April of 2011.
Yeah.
But TVA, of course, their entire transmission grid was just decimated.
Yeah,
and so we had no power to resell.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of sitting here, and I wasn't here yet, but we were sitting here without, you didn't see a lot of damage. You didn't see a lot of trees down in Decatur because we were
Right.
spared the brunt of the storm. But we had no electricity, so that was an anomaly type situation.
But everybody survived.
Yep.
Everybody, I mean, I was so proud of the town. I was so proud of Alabama. Everybody. I mean, you weren't. You were in Huntsville then.
I was in Huntsville. Correct.
Did you have electricity in Huntsville?
We did not. No, we
Okay,
did not.
but everybody really, I was really proud of how we acted as a state. We didn't go cuckoo bird.
No, it could have gotten.
But it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
People kept their cool.
So that's great. That's great. Okay, so now we've got you're going to be receiving something in the mail, Joe said.
About a week after your bill.
When you get, and everybody's on a cycle of a bill.
Right. It takes about 4 to 5 weeks to bill everyone. So you'll get your bill 7 days, 10 days later. You'll get this mailer. That'll continue till about the first week of August. So by the middle part of August, everyone should have their mailer.
Okay, and if you don't have it, if you don't get it by, you'll be checking everybody too. You're going to say, oh, this street, we only have 5 phone numbers and there's 20 houses on that street.
What will happen is we have the database that has all of our customers and the numbers that are associated. So we'll go through and we'll get all these updated as they come in, and then we'll
they'll be missing.
We'll look at who's missing, and we'll make another effort to communicate with them and say,
yeah.
hey, we still don't have your numbers.
And if you're going up and down Central Parkway, because DU's right down the road from TV 51 here, stop in. He's got a kiosk there. You can just fill it out and pop it in.
The easiest way is duphoneupdate.com. It's a little website we set up.
duphoneupdate.com.
Takes you 5 seconds, pop in your information, hit submit, and we get it, and you'll be entered for the drawing.
Okay, but I'm going to be looking for it in the mail to make sure it's all working.
That magnet's going to be great to stick on the refrigerator.
Right.
And then stick that little card in your wallet so you've always got the information you need to report an outage wherever you're at. Can I mention one more thing?
Sure. What else?
Tonight at 6 o'clock at Carrie Matthews Recreation Center, we're having a little information meeting for any customers who want to come out. We'll be explaining the billing process, how cycles work, all the payment programs we have in place.
Billing?
Budget billing.
Budget billing. I like that. I had that in Cleveland. I loved budget billing.
It's great.
Now you do it you update how many every 6 months?
Every 6 months.
And
we'll
they did
review
it. I think they updated it too.
The nice thing about the way we run the system is you never have what we call a true up. It's evaluated every 6 months, and the amount adjusts based on your previous usage. But we don't come back and say, "Oh, you were short, so you owe us, $400." We roll it in and keep it as a rolling average.
Okay, wait a minute. So if you say I'm going to bang out your average at $400 a month, okay, and after 6 months,
if you're using
you're over 400.
Then we'll just re-average that and begin a new amount.
So then your next time would be
it might
425.
It might be 425.
Oh, okay.
Other utilities take a different approach.
In Cleveland, you did it. If you went over, you paid.
Right, and we try to avoid
Then,
hitting you with that
if you
figure.
were under, it went as a credit.
Right.
You never got money back. Okay,
Yeah.
it went to the credit for the first bill of the next 6 months.
That's right. We're also going to be talking about something called special due date, and that's if you're on fixed income. In a lot of cases, not every case, but a lot of cases, we can alter your due date to make sure it coincides with your check arrival.
That's very nice.
And then
That's very nice.
We're going to talk a little bit about if you get in those situations where you see that you're going to have trouble making a bill payment. Let's say it's a spike in usage or whatever the case is. Come see us early so we can work out a payment arrangement. We can see what we can do. Don't wait till after it's cut off, because it makes it very difficult then for us to do anything other than
now,
sit
do
back on.
you have a website where it'll say when you're going to have community meetings? Is there some place that people can go to DU's site that you'll announce it?
We will. This is the first, basically the
But
first
will you
one.
do more?
We will do more.
People will like that. I mean, because they have a lot of questions. But I mean, I loved that. I loved when I had set bills and I knew every month how much I needed. I just love that.
It's great. It helps you budget each month and not have that wide variation in the bill.
And everybody,
But
get ready, because when your bill comes in August, you're going to fall over.
But it's
Just warning you.
And there again, if you feel like you're going to have trouble when you get that bill, go ahead and call us. Let us
Call
look at it.
now. Yeah. And who do
get
they
ahead of the
talk
game.
to? I mean, they
Again, that main number, 552-1400, it'll put them in the customer service queue.
Okay, and
they
then
can talk
say,
to any of our
oh, I'm a
folks.
little afraid it's going to be
Can
big. My kids, I've got to get clothes for them for school, because school starts, everything's going to happen like in August, and then they're going to get hit with, and it's going to be high because it's been hot. And we've got to make sure that, you don't get it cut off. That's the most important.
Right. Once it's cut off, it's very, there are fees to get it cut back on.
Oh, it's a mess.
And we don't want anyone to get cut off. I mean, that's the last thing we want. We'd rather them come in and let us see if we can work something out before they get cut off.
Yeah, okay. All right, I don't,
Just keep talking.
okay, we're just going to keep
Well,
talking
since
here
we're talking
for a
about
few minutes.
those hot bills, let's talk just a little bit about energy efficiency, because there are some things we can do while it's hot to try and keep those bills. I mean, when it's 110 heat index, that unit's going to run. But if you can stand to set that thermostat up a little bit, and our recommendation is 78 degrees. People look at me really funny, 78. But in reality, when it's 110 outside,
Oh, right, you come
78
in.
is going to be, it's going to feel a lot cooler. And
Tell
if you
that
can-
to the grocery stores.
well, that's a little different.
It's so cold in there, you need a sweater when you go down the frozen
That's-
food section.
That's correct. But
Okay,
yeah,
but
set it
set
to
it.
78. Run your ceiling fans in a counterclockwise. That creates a wind chill. It blows air across your skin, and that makes it feel a little cooler. So it may feel like it's 72.
Counterclockwise, so you,
Okay, look up at it and make sure it's going counterclockwise. Looks to be that way.
oh, okay,
And no, that way.
it has to go this way.
Running in reverse. There's a little switch on your fan
Yeah,
that'll set it in
you
reverse.
hit it a couple
now,
times,
in
it
the winter,
does-
you want it run the other way. But during the summer, make sure it's counterclockwise.
Okay, counterclockwise, is it gonna push the air
It's going to
down?
push the air down, blow
That's
across
it,
your
that's
skin.
why.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want the air up in
And,
the,
it's a little late now because we're already into the season, but every year get that HVAC unit
Oh.
serviced and make sure it's operating. I mean, we ran into that on Father's Day. We woke up, it was almost 95 degrees in the house because the unit had gone out overnight. Get it serviced, make sure freon levels are good, don't have any leaks. And if you're,
I do it twice a year.
Twice a year is even
Spring
better.
and fall.
And if that unit is, if you bought your house 15 years ago and that unit's 15 years old, it's a good chance that you could improve your efficiencies a great deal by getting a more efficient unit. We have programs, for financing those
And
units
don't
on your
leave the
bill.
door open.
Don't leave the
you
door
know.
open. Turn
Don't-
lights out when you're not. A lot of common sense type
Yeah,
things.
you
And all
know.
that's on our website at DecaturUtilities.com.
It's simple. I mean, it's just logical, but kids might be outside and you leave the door open, and oh man,
But did you know that
woo!
the average house, if you went around and you found all the cracks and crevices around where weather strippings come loose, or where an older house maybe the windows aren't, they've settled, that is the equivalent typically of leaving that door wide open.
Yeah.
So if you a little
Winter
caulking,
and summer.
little caulking and weather stripping will go a long way
Yeah.
in getting that house, more energy efficient. And then the last thing is just climb up to your attic access space, stick your head up there, look around. If you have places where the insulation has, maybe settled or gotten moved, make sure that all of your heated and cooled areas have at least 10 inches of insulation.
Right,
That's
right.
our-
Because then nothing's
that's
leaking
our
out. And
38.
it's very hot up in the attics.
But you want it hot in the attic and not
Yeah, not hot. Yeah, that's why you want the insulation so the heat
Right.
doesn't come down if you're on anywhere
your
in your
attic's
house.
ventilated, so that's not going to cause
Yeah.
problems. But you don't want that heat battling the trying to
Right.
cool the heated and cool
But
portions of the house.
and sometimes you got to look at your windows and say, "Shoot, maybe I have to replace windows." And replacing windows is not cheap.
It's
Okay,
not cheap, but if you'll go to escore2.com,
eScore.
eScore is a program, and you can go to our website. There's a link there.
Okay.
eScore is a program TVA offers where you can do either a free self audit. It gives you the steps to take to look around your house and kind of do an audit of yourself, or you can pay a fee and have a certified auditor come in, does a complete evaluation of the house, and they'll come back and they'll say, Susie, your house rated at a 6.5 for energy efficiency out of 10. Here are the steps you can take to get that up to a 10. Now those steps, some of them cost some money,
Right.
but the more steps you take and the closer you get to a 10, then the more energy efficiency
Right.
efficient the house is going to be.
Well, we did windows,
Mm-hmm.
but you like fall over and go, "Oh my goodness!" But then you say, "Okay, well we'll do front, then we'll do side, then we'll do back,"
Take it in
and
phases.
you do it in phases, and you save up your money and you do one section.
And we do have financing available for weatherization upgrades. And that's
Oh, really?
That's through TVA as well, and that goes on bill. There are, criteria to meet and,
Right.
and those types of things. We can take a look
So
at that.
if you have a lot of questions, get to Decatur Utilities.
Give us a call.
And for all of you watching statewide, your utility company probably has all this also.
That's
and,
correct.
and talk to somebody, call a service representative and say, I'd like to know about, maybe I need new windows, but I don't have the money. How can I finance this? How much would it cost? What do I need to do? How can I qualify? It's all available, and sometimes we don't know that.
Well, in the TVA service region, obviously all of us are TVA distributors. That E-Score program is available for folks in North Alabama. Alabama Power serves the middle part of the state.
Right.
They've got excellent programs. And then throughout the rest of the state, you have co-ops like Joe Wheeler that are
Yeah.
scattered throughout the bottom portion of the state. Most of them have the same type of programs. So yeah, wherever you're at, you can call.
You've got a program, so that's
And
what's-
wherever you're at, energy efficiency is the same. So those steps we talked about apply wherever you're located.
And there's the whole gamut, and you see in houses, and one of the houses, and we're good friends with the Habitat for Humanity organization, and the houses that they're building, they are those 5-star. I mean, they're efficient houses with the windows, the appliances, the furnace, the air conditioning. And that just makes it better for the person who's buying it, because it's
absolutely correct.
less money that is going to be going out for electricity.
And these same things apply if you're home shopping, if you're looking for a home. Check all those things
Right.
out before you.
Look at the windows, look at the furnace, and because you go, oh, how old is that furnace, or how old is that air conditioning unit?
Yeah, home inspection will go a long way in helping you identify things before you buy a house and then wind up seeing that you've got issues with heating and cooling.
Well, I know that some people, who lived in Old Decatur, okay, and have beautiful homes. In one year, I don't know how many years ago, it was just a freezing winter. And that one month, I think somebody's electric bill was like, or electric and gas, and the whole
sure
night
it
was something like $1,800. Uh-huh, because there were so many exits for the heat.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's a situation where you just have to, there's a balance between living in an older
Right.
home like that. But there are some things you could do even in the older home.
Sure.
Improve that insulation, do the weather stripping and caulking.
Yeah, and then they're all online, so you could go to DecaturUtilities.com.
Right.
That's
all those
that's
tips
as
are
easy
there.
as it is.
The link to E-Score is there. That's a great central place to go for anything you need to know about
Yeah,
DE.
tips and ideas, and and then do you go into the schools and talk to the children about electricity, or do they ever, come out to see the trucks?
Yes and yes. We go
Okay.
out, we have a program called Safety in a Flash, and this is something our linemen actually go out and
That's
do.
right. That's right.
And we go out into typically the 4th or 5th grade classes, do about a 45-minute presentation. It's a nice display that they've built. It goes through all the safety tips of how to be safe around power lines. We even blow up a house to show them what can happen if they love that part. But our linemen do a great job presenting those safety. And we've got a little booklet we leave with them, a little coloring booklet that reinforce the things we talk about. But then we also host groups. We had kids from the Mental Health Association's attention deficit disorder camp the other day that came up, and they watched the guys climb poles and work out of bucket trucks, and we did the safety presentation.
Okay, so teachers listening today
Yes,
can call.
give me a call,
the number and ask for Joe,
ask for
and
me.
he'll get you
We'll get it set
scheduled,
up.
because school starts, I think, August 13th.
Yes, close,
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, Joe, thank you.
Always a
and again, the main reason is you're going to be getting something in the mail. You've got to confirm your phone number with your address.
That is correct.
And that's for outages, so that if your electricity goes off, it'll help you get it on sooner.
That's correct.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you.
Well, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.